guys, so today I'm doing my favorite recipe for a moisturizer that is all natural. It's made out of oil, and I know a lot of people cringe at the word oil, especially people that suffer from acne or oily skin. But hear me out, oil doesn't necessarily mean bad. I feel like oil has kind of gotten a reputation that it doesn't deserve, and I don't really think that's fair. And so I want to talk today a bit about the oils that I'm going to be using and the benefits that it has for your skin. And all of the oils that I've chosen are very low on the comedogenic scale, and they're not very likely to break you out. I mean, like, I used these for the longest time, and I'm really excited that I've gotten all the ingredients again, and now I can make it for you guys. So if you guys want, you guys can make it for yourself. So let's start. To start with some basic things that you guys are going to need. Ideally, if you guys have a bottle like this, this is what you could put your moisturizer in as you're making it, and it's got the little dropper that you could use, but mine still has oil in it, so I'm going to just start with a little plastic bottle. Actually, this one's melted because my straightener. But I'm going to use that one anyways. It's kind of small, but you know, you don't want to mix the ingredients into too big of quantities because it will go rank and it could go bad. But typically this oil is probably good for about 8 to 12 months. So depending on how much you're making and how much you're using your moisturizer, you should be fine. So I'm going to start with this. You'll also probably need some scissors because, or I guess maybe a needle. I'll just do the scissors because it's easier for me that way. But yeah, so I'm not going to go through the itemized list ahead of time because I'm just going to go through the list as I'm making it. So first things first is you need a base oil. And typically a base oil is what makes up the most of your moisturizer. And so I'm picking my 2 favorite oils that I'm going to kind of make, or 3 favorite oils, sorry, that I'm going to kind of break them into thirds that they're going to make up the base of the oil. So the first one is jojoba oil. Now, jojoba it's not technically an oil actually, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a wax, technically, and it's the closest oil to our natural sebum, and so it boasts a lot of skin benefits because it's so similar to the oil that we naturally produce, and so it's a really great oil to use for a base oil. So some oils that you can use are jojoba, you can use grapeseed, you can use apricot oil, you can use argan oil, you can use hemp oil, I guess. But basically you want to find an oil that works for your skin, and so jojoba is good for people with oily skin, dry skin, aging skin, people with acne. Another oil that I'm using for my base oil is almond oil, and almond oil is particularly good for all skin types, and so that's why I don't want to just limit myself to the jojoba, but also the almond oil and the grapeseed oil. So these are going to be my 3 base oils. And so you don't have to use 3. You could pick one, like say you really like jojoba or you really like grapeseed, you can invest in that as your base oil, and that's fine. But for my moisturizer, to get the most benefits, I want to use the most oils that are best for my skin. So typically for your base oil, so because I have 3, remember it's got to make up the thirds, you want to have it about 2/3 of the way full. So about here you want to fill up your container. So you want to do 1/3 of 2/3. So you just, I guess I could use a funnel, but I'm not going to. Is it gonna, there we go. And now jojoba is, I wasn't a huge fan of it when I first used it because I think I used too much, and I don't really understand the concept of less is more sometimes. So I think that's enough jojoba there for me. Now the almond oil. Ugh, I have a feeling this is going to be messy. I'll do my best. Don't spill everywhere. So then we'll do another third or so of this. I think that's good. That might have been a bit much, but that's okay. Just do a little bit less of the grapeseed. Like, you can measure if you want. I mean, I don't really measure anything even when I cook, so it's not gonna happen today. I like to just go by eye and do what I can. So now the grapeseed oil. And okay, that's probably good. Maybe a bit more. Because you're also going to want to give your oil a good shake after, so oh crap. So you don't want to fill it up too much. So grapeseed oil particularly is it's got a lot of essential fatty acids, and it's high in antioxidants, so it's a great base oil, and it helps protect your cells and your skin tissue from damage. It can improve the circulation in your skin by rejuvenating damaged capillaries in your skin, and it's also anti-inflammatory, so it's really good for people with acne, so it won't affect your acne in a negative way. Almond oil is also a great option because it's got the essential minerals, the healthy fats. Fats don't necessarily have to be bad. Sometimes when people see fats in their moisturizers, they automatically think like clogged pores and breakouts, but that's not true. Also, almond oil is a great substitute for SPF. I'm personally allergic to the chemicals in sunscreen, and for the longest time I didn't use sunscreen, and I don't really necessarily believe that we need to protect ourselves from the sun if we're wise about how much time and how we spend our time in the sun. However, when it comes to natural ingredients, I'm all for it. And almond oil, they say that people who use almond oil actually showed less sun damage in studies than people who had unprotected, or no, I think it was just unprotected sun exposure. And so there was less sunspots, less fine lines, wrinkles. Almond oil can also help slow the signs of aging, and it can also reduce the itching and swelling and the pain from acne. So now, jojoba is also obviously one of the best things, as I said before. Like, it absorbs well into your skin. It's the closest to our natural oils, and it doesn't evaporate from your skin like water-based moisturizers do. And so I can't remember, I saw somebody on Instagram say the first ingredient in your moisturizer should be water, and while that's true, at the same time water evaporates and oil stays on your skin, and you don't want your moisturizer to evaporate. And if your moisturizer is 90% water or whatever percent water, it's just going to evaporate on your skin. Like, if water was water is essential, don't get me wrong. The best thing to do is to have water on your face when you put the moisturizer on, because it seals in the water. However, if water was enough to moisturize our skin, we wouldn't need moisturizers. We would just splash our faces with water. Okay, regardless. So, next, because now that we have our base oil, we need to add our kind of bonus nourishing oils. And the ones I chose were rosehip seed oil and evening primrose. And now evening primrose, it has a short shelf life, and so it's best to buy it in capsule form, and I take these anyways as a supplement, so it's great to take orally as well as topically. You get double the benefits. So you cut open the capsules and use the oil that way rather than buying the oil like this. Now, rosehip seed oil, to get 100% pure in this tiny little bottle, I believe it was like between $11 and $19, so it is quite expensive, but you don't really need a ton of it, and it's worth it to buy this rosehip seed oil this way. So, you don't need to add a ton. You typically want to fill the rest of the bottle, and so I'm not going to fill it right to the top. I'll probably leave about a half an inch to an inch, no, probably about a half an inch from the top. So you want to break that between the rosehip oil and the evening primrose. Now, the rosehip seed oil is it's full of vitamins and antioxidants, and it's been used for generations from the Mayans, the Egyptians, First Nations people, Native Americans, Native Canadians, to reap the benefits of rosehip seed oil, and it's allegedly better than Botox. It helps with fine lines, acne scars, helps heal acne, and I always used to use rosehip seed oil. I stopped using it when I started breaking out because I was worried that it wouldn't, like my acne wouldn't heal properly, but I later found out that it's great for acne and inflammation and all that stuff. So, oh god, I'm not able to open it. Okay, there we go. We got it. So, it's very light actually, which is really, really nice. A lot of the oils are very thick and, you know, greasy or whatever, but this goes on really nicely. It doesn't smell fantastic, but, you know, whatever. So I'm not going to use a ton because that's probably good. And then now I took about six evening primrose capsules. So these are 500 milligrams. And I'm going to break 6 open because the reason I'm using 6, I'd probably only use, like if I could get the full amount out, I would probably only use 4. But I make a mess usually when I do this, and I don't always get it all in there, so I'm trying to get the most out of it. So you just, these are going to pop all over, but that's okay. You cut the tip off and then squeeze the oil in out of the capsule. See, like I didn't get a whole lot out of there, and so that's why I'm using 6 of them. Now it might be easier if you had like a needle to poke it, but I lost my needle, so I'm not gonna. There we go, that one came out nice. Now, evening primrose oil is actually particularly great for those of us who have acne because it's supposed to help, obviously internally, but also topically for hormonal acne, and it can also help with eczema or psoriasis, or it can help with healing wounds, and it reduces the inflammation and the swelling and the itchiness and the pain and all that stuff from acne. So it's a really great supplement, and that's why I go through the pain of cutting the capsules open to put it into the moisturizer, because it is such a great thing to have in your moisturizer. It's worth the hassle. Like, I feel like, look at, I'm losing all this oil, but I just can't get it out anymore. Whatever. That's why we use 6 of them. I may be wasting some, but I'm doing the best I can. Last one. Okay. So now that I've got my oils done, You can also choose to add a couple drops, and when I say drops, I mean like 2 drops, little drops of essential oil. And so essential oil is something that has like a nice scent if you're into smell. I don't really care typically, plus essential oils are very expensive. You could buy like the mint kind, you could buy lemongrass, rosemary, whatever you want. I would like that kind of, the rose scent, actually, that'd be pretty nice, but like I said, actually lavender oil too, because lavender oil is very soothing, especially if you deal with stress, and if you use this moisturizer before bed, lavender oil helps you fall asleep, so lavender oil, try that out. However, even though it's not typically something I put in my moisturizer, I am going to put in a little bit of castor oil, just because I've been using castor oil for quite a while now, especially under my eyes, and I really do like it. It's very thick, and it's a little sticky, but it is a miracle worker, and it doesn't clog your pores or anything. I would also, you could also use olive oil. I wouldn't use olive oil as a base. Like, you can. Olive oil is a great moisturizer all by itself, especially if it's raw or unrefined and pure, whatever, organic, whatever. But I probably wouldn't, because there's better oils out there, you know, like the almond oil, like the jojoba. So you could use it, but you could also just use it as the nourishing oil, because it is very replenishing. So give your oil a shake. Don't be too rough with it, because you don't need to mix it that roughly. And then when you're done with it, you want to store it in a cool, dark place. You don't want it out anywhere the sun can reach it, because that will diminish its shelf life. So like I said, this oil should be good for 8 to 12 months, like roughly. Like, this one won't last me that long. I very highly doubt it will last me that long. But if you made a bigger bottle of it, you know, make smaller bottles. 8 to 12 months, that's it, that's all. Bada bing, bada boom. I can't think of anything else. That's my moisturizer. It's got some of the best oils on the planet in there. Again, low comedogenic rate. They work for acne-prone skin, dry skin, wrinkles, eczema, sensitive skin, oily skin. Don't be afraid of oil if you have oily skin or acne. It's not the devil. I know that I said this already, the jojoba is the closest to our natural sebum. There have been tests, although they aren't conclusive, that using oils, specifically oils like jojoba, on the face, can trick our skin into thinking that it's produced enough oil, and that can balance our oil in our skin. And so, I mean, I've never had a problem with using oils on my skin. I've never broken out from using oils. I've never, unless you're using an oil that will clog your pores, like, don't go and buy vegetable oil or canola oil and put it on your face or anything like that. Research your oils. If you want to use an oil, research it. Even if I've mentioned it here, do your own research. I mean, what works for me isn't going to work for everybody, and while these are low comedogenic, that doesn't mean they won't have some kind of reaction for you. You could be allergic to something. You could have a contact allergy to something that I've mentioned. So you need to do your legwork. Pick some of the oils that I mentioned. Pick an oil you've heard of that you want to try. Do your research. See if it's right for you. Try it out for 30 to 60 days. If it's not working, stop doing it. It's not something that I am willing to say firmly enough, try this, it'll cure your acne. It's not going to cure your acne. This is just going to, you know, take care of your skin in a natural way, rather than spending, you know, 15 bucks on a moisturizer, however long your moisturizer lasts you. Like, some of them are expensive. This one, 12 bucks. Look at this huge bottle for 12 bucks. And how much of it did I use? Not that much. The jojoba, because it's organic, it was like $22, and if you want a bigger one, it's like $50. It is expensive, but this is going to last me a lot longer than another moisturizer. So say I bought another moisturizer, this right here. This moisturizer was 15 bucks. You know how long this lasted me? Like not even a month. Like this is 22 bucks. This is going to last me months and months. So I'm just saying, it's natural, it's better for your skin, it is affordable. It may seem like a lot at the time, but it lasts longer if you take care of it. Dark, cool places, out of the sunlight. I'm done. That's it, that's all. Enjoy your moisturizers.